Hello, and welcome to another edition of Hong Kong House of Cards. Today we have some people. We're going to go into a coffee shop. We're going to have some fun. Because this is not my coffee shop, I'm going to let the person who works at the coffee shop describe the coffee shop. Woo!
Mm.
That, that's your cue.
The he's have to be working at his primary source of income at the current moment as he supports his little sister who's still in school. At this point in time, business has slowed down. There's nobody really in the shop. It's just him and the owner. At this point, he's just wiping down counters, tidying up, cleaning up after people who've already left.
Jolie orders some tea, preferably Earl Grey if they have, or green. You can settle with oolong if they don't have any of these two already specified.
Zath would see the order as he brews the tea and walks over and hands it to them. Hey, Joe, how are you doing?
Just another night.
Yeah, well, it was pretty busy until you got here. I was about to go out of my mind if someone didn't walk in.
I wouldn't recommend it necessarily, but
He would chuckle slightly. Yeah, well, I get a little stir crazy when there's nothing to do, so standing there washing the same clean part of the counter over and over again tends to eat away at me.
I personally take various times when it comes to moments of quiet to still my mind and try to meditate upon what happened to myself, process the information that was given to me, and the like.
I'm sorry, you were breaking up about at that. What was that last part?
And the like.
I'm sorry, one more time. I think I'm in a bad reception
And
spot.
and the like.
Okay. All right. Well, I had to take some of these dishes back real quick, and then I'll come back out to talk since there's no one else here. I don't think I'll get in trouble for sitting down for a minute. He'd tell him as he gathered up the dishes and took them to the back to clean.
Um, yeah. At this time, Tony will walk in with her weapons like usual. Except, you can hear it kind of clanking every time she walks, like a metal hitting metal. And every time she walks, but you can't really tell because she's got a jacket on. Walk in and look around, uh, see Jolie, and she'll just kind of wave.
Jolie waves back. Pleasant to meet you, Tony. Once more.
Yeah, as you're gonna meet you once more again. What's up?
Tea. I went out for this beverage. I wanted to try out something new.
Nice. Is it good?
Hmm. Let me check. Yes, it is quite excellent.
Uh, hey, glad to hear that. Always good to find, good drinks.
So, don't let me keep you from placing your order so that we can converse better at a table.
Oh, nah, I'm not really all that thirsty in the first place. Besides, this place looks like it's trying to close up. I wouldn't bother him by making an order.
Well, the individual in question that I've just discussed this with said he was almost going stir crazy out of his mind if he didn't do something and just looked at the counter all the time. But that might just be my interpretation of the person in question being willing to brew someone tea.
I don't know. That sounds less like he doesn't like looking at the counter and more like he wants to go beat some stuff up.
Possibly. But Yeben Dragon always gives us riddles with different meanings and interpretations. So, I wouldn't know. Hmm.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, how have you been since last we met?
Zath would
I'm
come
sorry if
out
you
of
said something
the.
I didn't.
Go ahead.
No, my bad. You go.
Give me a second. I'm in a bad signal area.
Okay, I just said, how have you been since last we met?
Oh, okay. She'd kind of sit down, at the table, shrug. Um, I've been doing fine. I've gotten a lot of work orders lately, so I've been at the forge a lot, crafting various tools and weapons. It's been decently nice.
Hmm.
Yourself?
I have been meditating a lot, reading, traveling, and cleaning up gum from shrines. So, business as usual for me.
Zath would walk out from the back kitchen as he dust off his butler style uniform. As he noticed Tony has now arrived, he'd walk over and greet her. Hey Tony, how you been? Can I get you anything?
I've been pretty good. Nah, you don't have to worry about me. How have you been?
Well, working. It's been pretty dead lately, so I've been managing to practice a little bit. Gotta keep up in touch, but unfortunately I broke one of my blades the other day, so that's unfortunate.
Oh, you broke. I can fix that for you if you need. Really easy. I could just craft you a whole new one. It wouldn't take much.
He chuckled a little bit. He's like, I don't know. It's one of those. I don't know. I guess I can have you look at it later.
I mean, it's up to you. Like, I understand some blades are, just kind of really special to people. So I completely understand it. I have a few of those myself.
He would nod. I don't want to say it's so much as that, so much as it's just regular old blade, but I wouldn't mind trying to get my hands on something a little more interactive would be the word, I think. You'd tell her.
Well, personally, one of the more, I don't know, interactive weapons that I know of would probably be a chain whip, and I suppose that's just because I like it so much, though I don't use it very often. Like I said, if you need a weapon or something, just let me know. Tell me what you want, and I got you.
He would nod. All right, I might have to hit you up on that because so far all I've got are daggers, and I wouldn't mind something with a little more reach, but it's just hard to get a good balance nowadays with all these materials they throw in.
Don't worry about that with my blades. They're well crafted, if I can brag a little bit about that.
He'd chuckle as he looked to Joe. Are you wanting anything else? Snack or something? Since I'm still up.
Could you brew me a fresh pot, please?
He would nod as he looked back to Tony. Are you sure there's nothing you want? I can get you a cup of water.
No, I'm good. Thank you, though. Like I said, you look like you're trying to get off work and everything. I'm not gonna bug you with all that.
He'd shrug as he walked away to go get the fresh pot for Joe.
Jolie turns back to Tony. Huh. So, you mentioned that you deal with various forms of weaponry.
I do, yeah. Typically bladed weapons. Guns aren't something I deal with, but I could easily. Well, yeah, I just have to go ask Master Dasal and just follow his instructions. It shouldn't take too much to make one of those.
Personally, I usually use a dagger. So, but I have a deal up with Master Saul presently. Do you understand when you make an agreement with someone, but your agreement involves someone else, and you cannot truly fulfill your end of the bargain since that someone else is really dependent upon that the end? You know?
I can't say I've ever had to deal with something like that. I rarely get into agreements that require any kind of third party that would prohibit me from doing what I'm supposed to do.
Oh well. What can I say? This was a riddle from the Scarlet Queen.
Don't know who that is, but okay.
Returning from the back, Zaph would have a pitcher and a couple of glasses juggling in one hand and a fresh pot for Joe as he poured Joe's tea first and poured Tony a cup of water, even though she said no, but just in case, you never know. as he joined them at the table. His boss pretty much telling him he could relax. Nobody else was going to come in. It was close to closing, and he had no issue with us hanging out.
Since you gave her the cup of water, she'll take a sip and nod her thanks.
Personally, I am more surprised that no one took me upon my offer in order to fix whatever ails them mentally. Mm.
What do you mean? Zath would ask.
Well, upon my studies, I have obtained the wisdom necessary in order to fix one's brain from mental illnesses, psychological trauma, and other unpleasantries that might plague the mind and keep the various members from acting at their full potential.
Zath would tilt his head a little bit. Are you referring to where I mentioned that I was losing my mind earlier?
Honestly, that hasn't come into the consideration. I have already posted on the message board within the museum about this for some time now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't really go there too much. I've just been so busy.
Understandable. It was the most visible place that I could think of to post said announcement. But
Zath would shrug. Yeah, it seems like it gets a lot of traffic, so it's generally the best way to put an announcement.
well, it's better than the cathedral that I worked within, since I do not get that many visitors.
Okay. Zath would snap his finger as he postured like he had an idea. I heard you said something about gum earlier and like removing it. Have you tried peanut butter?
Indeed. I have concocted a special solution in order to make it go away rapidly. I cannot tell you the secret ingredients that I use in said solution, because that would be telling.
Well, so long as you're not peeing in the bottle, I don't think anyone will care.
It's a daily activity that I have to undergo as part of my duties. Or, well, I say daily, and that doesn't necessarily mean I go there daily. It's more of a weekly, now that I think about it.
That's understandable. A task is still a task. Task is still tasking, physically and mentally. I guess that's why they have those phrases like that.
Indeed.
Zath would look over as he picked up an ice cube and he flick it at Tony since she was being quiet.
Okay, let me hold on. One sec. I'm gonna roll my Dex athletics, see if she catches this shit.
Ah, shit.
'Cause she's not. Okay, yeah. I don't know. Would you say that my specialty in nimble would apply?
I'd say sure, but
Yeah.
you know,
Failed anyway. Whatever. Okay, so apparently she was like completely zoned out. She was yeah. As you guys were talking, mental illnesses and stuff, she just kind of zoned out, and she pulled out a, underneath her shirt. It looks like an Omega symbol. Pretty old, and crafted with love and care, and she's just kind of holding it, staring at it. Ath hits her with the ice cube. She just did not notice, and so it, like, hit her upside the head. And after that, she kind of dropped the pendant and looked over at him and glared. Is there a reason you threw an ice cube at me?
He would kind of lean in, rest his elbows on the table as his chin rested upon his hands. I don't know. Is there a reason you're being a stranger in company?
That's typically what I do. Unless I'm around Logan, because I'm trying to prove to Logan that I'm not antisocial.
Well, you're not proving to me that you're not being antisocial, and apparently we're buds, me and Logan.
Well, that's cool. I never said I had to prove it to you. I just have to prove it to Logan to get him off my back.
Yeah, but I can always just tell on you.
Oh, very mature. Whatever shall I do? You're gonna tell Logan on me. Oh no. I'm so scared.
Oh, you should be. You never know what that guy's going to be one day.
I don't know what you're talking about. Logan's a big teddy bear. She's nice.
Interesting.
What is?
Why do you have to prove to Logan as to your ability to socialize within this context?
I don't know. Logan's always harping on to me about black spots in my aura, so I'm just trying to prove that it's not a big deal.
Killing, murder, mayhem, mutilation, those type of things.
Well, sorry, I'm kind of a Knight of Radamanthus. We are mercenaries. We, are deliverers of the good death. That's kind of what we do, help people move on when their souls are stagnant.
That doesn't mean you have to put their souls in a stagnant state. Come on now.
No. Why would I ever wish to do that to a soul? We help them move on if they're already stagnant. Child rapists and, human traffickers, people of that nature, typically are the ones that have stagnant souls that need to be, returned to the wheel, that perhaps in their next life they will have a better chance.
At doing the same thing, or is this like some Buddhist rebirth in which they, through new experiences of a different life in a new body, they may develop into something better or worse?
Into something better, yes. Or at least that is what we hope.
Zath would scratch the back of his head. So, what happened with Hitler?
Hold on, I have to make sure I have this name right.
Okay.
Sorry.
Jolie will be like, I, even as a monk in training, I do not expect to know all the mysteries of life and death. Even if my path of enlightenment shows me one way or another, that does not necessarily mean that I know of where all of the ways and mysteries of the spirit. Uh, that would be presumptuous upon my part.
Zath would just kind of shrug. I was just curious, that's all. I mean, I grew up as a farm boy, and at this point in time, I'm a surrogate parent to my little sister, which is turning into a nightmare due to her age, he'd say as he leaned back in his chair and crossed his arms.
Uh, if you're referring to the teenage years, then yes. I remember being a nightmare to my parents as well, though the feeling was mutual.
Zath would nod a little bit. Yeah, well, it's not exactly a aspect I have experience in with her starting to like boys, he would say with a bit of a disdain in his voice.
Ah, if it's only that, then you're fine. My arguments were a lot more vicious than that. But, you know how they say, nothing lasts forever. And then I died. And now I'm here again.
When you say you're dead, Tony will kind of look over at you, and there is this look of just like, ah. And then she'll look back down at her cup of water and just pick it up and start swirling it around.
Huh?
Zath would shake his head as he's just interested in the mixture that he has here for a three-way conversation.
Well, at least after taking my second breath upon this world and being reborn as I am, I got everything that I wanted from my previous life. Someone that was actually a parent, money enough to spend on the things that I actually find enjoyable, a purpose to keep me grounded, and something greater than myself to pursue for as much time as I want to take. A duty, if you will, to a greater cause.
I guess I could see the greater cause thing. Unfortunately for me, when my parents were killed, it was just a matter of survival. Thankfully, growing up as a farmer, it was pretty easy to lay off the land, but unfortunately, it just kept getting chased, and it seems the only safe place I've managed to find so far is here, and I don't know why, so here I am.
I wouldn't exactly call the city safe, but perhaps that's just me.
Well, seeing as I can't leave now, I don't think I have much of a choice.
That was a bit of my point.
Well, one can always find ways to leave. That's not the issue. However, in my case, the cause of my death was a car accident that took the lives of my parents as well. It was no mere accident, mind you. Someone from my father's firm, as it were, made sure that our car malfunctioned and it drove off a cliff the way it did. As a turn of fate, I'm not sure how this happened, but a friend of mine from the United States of America found said culprit and brought him to justice.
As in, they flew him out here and you personally enjoyed watching the life slip from their eyes, or they're in jail?
I do not understand what type of justice my friend inflicted upon said individual, but from what I've heard, justice has been done, or at least that's how he phrased it.
He's probably dead then. Zath would shake his head, thinking for a second. Either way,
I do not presume to understand the way of these American people, for their ways are not my ways. Their meaning of justice might not necessarily be mine, but at least it was done. So that if I ever had such a question sometime in the future, it would be answered beforehand.
yeah. Zath would look around for a minute as he noticed the time. Excuse me for a second. I'll be right back, he'd say as he stood up real quick to go to the back room.
Indeed. Oh,
Um, as he leaves, Tony's got her arms crossed over her chest, and she's staring very intently at her glass of water.
so why exactly do you want to socialize necessarily? Are those dark spots within your aura causing you any discomfort in a way?
No, they can at a later date, though, if some stuff happens. And as I said before, just trying to be a bit more social to get Logan to stop saying that I'm unsocial.
Ah. But as a knight, did you take any oaths that prevent you from being social?
I'm sorry, I kind of broke up there. Did you ask if, because she was a knight, if she had oaths that prevented her from being social?
Yes.
Uh, she'll shake her head again. No, there's no such oath like that. At least one that I know of. mean, I'm sure I could give an oath like that. I know a few people of my order who, but it's not. It's something I haven't done in a long, long time, and I don't. Someone would make an oath to not be social. Me.
Oh, good. I I wasn't sure as to why this social issue was such a big burden upon you.
I wouldn't say it's a burden. It's just never really been a social person. I've kept to myself most of my life, but I guess I'm get out of that just to prove a point, really, because I'm a stubborn person. So,
Oh, interesting. Hmm. Well, personally, I can only speak within my name, and well, whether I'm social or not is a bit up in the air, as it were. My position within the council tends to lead me far away between the various places within existence, so I cannot truly say that I am, how do they call it, a social butterfly, if I'm expressing the statement correctly.
yeah, I think that's what it's called. It's called being a social butterfly. Weird.
I am the furthest from that. While I don't have any friends in my previous life, in my current, I can't say with somewhat certainty that I have a few. Although whether or not they consider me their friend back is another issue entirely. Since, well,
Yeah, I can understand that.
personally, due to the distance between us, most of the time, I'm not sure if, well, the feeling of friendship is mutual. And due to my somewhat cold nature, I cannot say that uh, I'm going out of my way to nurture such friendship. Not like some others that have all of the time in the world to go out and have some fun, as it were.
Yeah, I get that.
At this point, Zath would return from the back. He was dressed in. He was no longer in his uniform. He was dressed in regular jeans, boot-like tennis shoes. I'm not exactly sure what you would call them nowadays. And he had a black leather jacket over a blue shirt as he joined them at the table. What I miss?
I was just a bit of chatter.
Indeed.
Forced to be social when there's only two people, huh? He would tease.
Yeah. Keep it up, man. Keep it up.
He would smile gently as a hopes to maybe not be irritating her, but just hope she understands he's just being playful, trying to be friendly.
Oh yeah. She's got a smile on her face, she's got all that.
He'll give a bit of a stretch as his hands reached over his head. So, do any of you know what Twitter is? He would ask.
It is a site.
Yeah, I know
from
what Twitter is.
What I can tell, it's a site where a lot of people leave messages called tweets that are within a set number of characters that inform each other of their opinion on things and whatever opinions they do have, regardless of the truthful or falsehood of their nature. And somewhat interesting way of keeping track of said tweets. I'm led to understand that these pound symbols that some people refer to them as hashtags, followed by a string of letters and numbers, sometimes symbols, to delineate a topic that is, he does air quotes, trending.
Okay. Now, I guess my other question is this safe for a 15-year-old girl to have?
Everyone in the world would be able to see her statements, whether or not she has these things called followers, if I'm saying it right.
Okay, Zath would say as he started to get a little uneasy at this point in time.
They might spread her words even further.
So, bad thing? Get rid of it? Or...
As long as she does not say anything that would be associated with something compromising, it can be somewhat of a delight of the English language, from what I could tell.
He would nod. Alright, I guess I'll leave it alone for now. If it gets anywhere, then I guess I'll have a problem with it, but he let a bit of a sigh. I'm a guy. I don't even have a remote idea of what's going through her head.
Well, you will find out soon enough. He says this ominously while referring to Twitter.
He would glare at him slightly. There's something you're not telling me. I will find you.
Well, my place of business is at the Cathedral of Immaculate Conception.
He raised his eyebrow.
You may visit me anytime after dusk.
He would not sure if he understood his reference, but No, he doesn't have to find out where he's at, but you clear his throat a little bit as you look at Tony. Did a little bit of he would begin to whistle the Jeopardy theme song as he looked at him. Seeing as it didn't work, he would let out a sigh. Tony. Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Kind of creepy how you're staring at
I am perfectly fine. Thank you for your concern.
You say that. Would you guys rather do something else? I mean, I'm not sure if you guys came here to visit me or if you just came by for some tea and were like, oh, hey, here's this guy.
I personally have only arrived at this shop because I haven't been to this shop at all and wanted to sample its wares so that I can make a better opinion as to if I indeed wanted to visit sometime in the future or just leave it alone. And indeed, the brew that you have made is quite enjoyable, so I might visit this place in the future.
Zath would not. Well, I appreciate it. They're actually stuff that I collect myself, so if you have any specific requests or issues, let me know. I might be able to find something exactly to your liking, but I'm glad what I have made was perfect for you.
Well, I cannot just expedite energy willy-nilly, so what you have provided me was serviceable and perfectly adequate for my taste buds.
You would nod. All right, well, that works. How about you, Tony? Is there anything specific you'd like other than 2-0?
No, I'm fine with just water.
Give me a second. Speaking of water, my child.
Alright, mute yourself while doing this. May I regale you with a story that has happened to me at one point or another?
Sure, why not?
No. As it were, you may or may not know this, but I usually take some strolls upon the lands of the restless dead. Business. But someone within said place decided to bring a whole sea of oblivion upon my person. Not necessarily willing to have my existence erased and dying a second time, I opted to go anywhere but here. And if you think it sounds foreboding, it tends to be. Because anywhere but here tends to get you someplace where you didn't necessarily want to be, but you're there anyway.
Like in the middle of the woods with landmines everywhere?
Well, I went into a place where the water went upstream instead of down, where there was a lot of chocolate otters that started wrapping it. Some interesting folk that kept explaining where the exit is. Albeit I kept on getting more and more lost within said place. And, well, my sense of self started to deteriorate after a while. It took me a while just to refocus myself and truly understand what has happened to me. For I was looking at myself from my point of view, but it was more akin to a Salvador Dali type painting. And even that is a gross oversimplification of what has truly begun to happen to my psyche. A short while afterwards, well, after escaping the various planes of indescribable fluidity of reality, I have came back into the lands of shadow once more to center myself in order to just somewhat speak coherently. Even now, I'm not 100% sure that, well, firstly, I am real. Secondly, you are real and not just another figment of my imagination.
Well, I would hope not. I'd be a little upset if you're the reason why my past has been so shitty. He'd tell him.
I doubt that I have that much power over your life, but this is just from my perspective upon the way I see things. I cannot truly be 100% sure that things are what they are, and I'm not still trapped within that place, very, very far away from the Middle Kingdom at large.
Have you tried pinching yourself? He would ask as a bit of a cliche joke reference.
I can dislocate my whole arm, but I could always do that even within said realm.
Well, that's pleasant, you would say, questioning. I mean, if that's
No,
your thing.
no, it's not. Having seen yourself in multiple pieces and then try to put yourself back together in order to somewhat resemble your original shape is not something truly that I wish upon most people.
Well, that's understandable.
I was literally just losing my mind at that point in time. So I had to center myself and recover what sanity I had left in order to be able to interact with those at bars, if you will. Albeit the moon's rays cannot truly deepen more the mystery that was that experience, since even to this day I cannot fully understand what has begun to happen to me at that point.
Sounds like a really bad acid trip. Or shrooms, he would say as he let out a bit of a sigh.
Well, my friend Arthur did mention that it was akin to that, though the actual term that he used for said realms tended to sound like a class from Knights of the Old Republic, even the MMO.
Oh, okay.
Something with an M.
Magistrate?
No. Uh, hmm. Marauder, that's it. Something about being a Marauder realm. Or realms plural. I cannot tell.
Sounds like fun, I guess. Either way.
If you call doubting your sanity all the time and not 100% knowing which way is up, which way is down, left or right, center, or, who are you exactly? Always trying to figure that mystery out with every step, then indeed, if you think that is your idea of fun, then please go right ahead. It was terrifying for me.
Yeah, I can understand terrifying. I guess I don't quite grasp exactly what happened to you, but if it's nothing one would consider fun, I'll take your word up on it and hope it never happens to me. But seeing as my grasp of this supernatural world is literally nothing, I'm just here.
Mm. Here, at least you know the rules of how things should be to a certain extent. There, you're always finding them out. Sometimes upon your own skin and your own mind.
He would kind of nod. Well, I'm still not even really familiar with these rules. I mean, sometimes I see things that I wasn't able to see before this happened to me, and then there's other times it's just there. I mean, the most memorable experience is when my parents died. I just lashed out and I killed them, but I just got this instantaneous backlash. It was horrific. I didn't have any way of understanding what happened, let alone what caused it or how I was able to kill those guys. He explained.
Mm, understandable. Maybe talk to others of your house about these things. They might have further insight and try to better help you go through whatever emotions you are currently feeling. For with my emotions, I'm just not 100% sure, and I'm not sure even how to approach necessarily everyone that I know with these things.
Alrighty. He would shift slightly, maybe a bit of a stretch as he could feel his phone starting to go off. He'd pick it up and he'd answer the call as he dismissed himself from the table for a moment.
So, Tony, do you have any interesting tales that might garner us some insight into some events within your life?
uh, yes. I've done several interesting things in my life. They aren't like what most have done. My stories aren't fun or happy or exciting. Well, they're more violent in nature. So I think I will refrain from telling any stories.
Personally, I wouldn't mind hearing stories about violence since, well, I have another story about violence myself that I could regale you. So, but I want to hear one of yours before I tell you another of mine.
She'll just she'll just smile and think for a moment again, and then finally just shake her head. Um, no, I think I'll skip with the storytelling. Not my forte.
Zaf would, uh, Zaf would walk back in after he got off the phone. You don't want to play spin the bottle instead? He would tease her rendition of a story, reminding him of that wonderfully interesting night of his life. Uh, One other thing, I have to go. My little sister called. It's time for me to pick her up from her club activities. But it was nice to see you again, Joe. And Tony, I'm going to have to get with you about creating another blade. I'm quite interested in it, actually.
Uh, sure. Anytime. Just let me know. You, it's not hard to find me. I'm either at my apartment, at the museum, or at Master DeSaulles' workshop.
He would
Or
nod.
I guess
Well,
workshop. Either way.
I know where one of those is, but either way, I'll manage my way around to find you. I do appreciate it. As for you, Joe, it was pleasant to see you again. I hope you can find a way to keep gum off of statues so you don't have to clean it all the time, you'd say.
While indeed I keep on cleaning them all the time, that doesn't mean that the visitors don't keep reapplying said gum.
He would chuckle. Yeah, people can do that. Well, it was a pleasure to speak with you. If you guys need anything else, my boss will be able to help you out, but I have to run and go get her. So I will talk to you guys another time. He would say, pleased with the visit.
Good
Yeah,
night.
sounds good. Have a good night.
Alrighty. I'll catch you guys later, he'd say as he walked out the shop.
You too.
Now, as a story of violence, there was this one time that, well, I was enjoying a leisure night within a park. just strolling, admiring the night air, maybe even finding a few dead rodents here and there. Who knows? But all of a sudden, a call to action has been issued, and I, besides some of the other members of the council, have been called upon to fight against some sickly shifters, from what I could tell at that point in time. We all bravely fought in their various states. They were, from what I've been told, needed to be put down, for their actions started polluting the various intersections of natural energy within the world. And we stopped them before they could corrupt the land even further.
She'll smile at that and then stand up. Well, that was a lovely story, but late, as you can obviously tell, since you're up and walking around. And I've had a busy day crafting at the forge. If you do not mind, I will excuse myself.
There is no trouble whatsoever. It is always good to hear someone is willing to listen to some of my life experiences and perhaps even learn from them. Albeit, I am not 100% sure as to what insight you might gain from the lesson of my life at this point, but I do not want to assume as to what insight you can obtain. Regardless, it has been a pleasure talking with you, and I do so delight from time to time try to teach someone else about being a better person, as it were, through the experiences that I've been through. Not sure how that message has come across. Hopefully you learned something.
I sure did. Have a pleasant evening. And she'll kind of wave bye and head on out.
You too. And he'll go back into the night. And I think that's a good place to end the scene.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and other things and people. Thank you, players, for playing. Watchers for watching. Don't think we had any watchers. Oh well. Good one.